Alrighty, Dragon Priest. So, the reason Dragon Priest was so successful before was because of its potential on the low end. You had a... If you're holding a dragon, let's just assume that you are, you had a 2-3 for 1, you had a 2-4 with taunt for 2, you had a 3-5 for 3, so that one wasn't a dragon. Then again, neither was the... What, the 2-4 was also not a dragon, I feel like? The Worm Rest Agent or whatever. But point being, like, some of them were also dragons that activated them, like, their own abilities on other dragons. So you had all these good statted minions that you could drop out. You're playing a class that can heal those minions, so you can create favorable trades. And it was the answer to Priest's frequent problem, which is the fact that it doesn't have a whole lot of great low-end minions. Well, a lot of those minions rotated out in the latest expansion. In fact, all the ones I just mentioned are gone. But there's a couple of key components that still exist. So for one, Draconid Operative is still one of the best cards in the game. It's got great stats. It is a dragon, so it activates itself or any of the other dragon effects, although there's not as many of those left now because, again, some of those were gone. But we still have Bookworms. We're running 2 of those now. Before, I only had 1 in this deck. We still have the Nether Spite Historian, which is nice. But the Draconid Operative, great stats. Discover a card in your opponent's deck, which leads to all sorts of shenanigans. So you're basically getting pseudo card draw out of it, and you're playing a 5-6 for 5, which, I mean, come on. So beyond that, what have we done to replace the low end? Well, we're running 2 Holy Smites to really go and stop as much of the aggro as we can. I actually don't think I was running Northshire Clerics. If I was running 1. Because it wasn't so much about card draw at that point as it was about just playing a really good statted minion on every turn on curve. We're running 2 of these. These are new. Radiant Elementals. Spells cost 1 less. It's part of why we're also running 2 Power Word Shields, although I think we had 2 in the deck before. But the Power Words plus the Shadow Words plus Priest of the Feast, which is a good statted minion for 4 and gives us some healing potential. Just create some fun. And then from beyond that, it's just what you would expect. We're running a greater healing potion to stay alive. We're running Ysera as a high-end dragon because it's super good and gives good value, and it's good in the Priest Mirror because 4 attack. We put in a Dragonfire potion because there's pretty much no other way to clear anymore. I'm running 2 Holy Novas, but I don't feel great about it. But, the Excavated Evil is gone. Light Bomb was already gone, so if you're looking for clears, it's basically a Dragonfire potion and that's it. And I'd be running 2 of these, but now we've teched in so many non-dragon cards that I don't know how good 2 of them is. I'm still toying with this. I might consider putting 2 in, but it then kind of slants this even further up the high end of the curve, so I don't know. 5 damage is a really nice spot to be in right now, especially against, Quest Rogue. But, yeah. And then the only other really, teched in, I guess, sideboarded type card is this. And there's not a lot of great targets for this per se. If anything, this was stronger in the deck before when it had those really good dragons in the low end. But it's a 3-4 for 3, and we very frequently find ourselves having one of these 2 on the board that we can boost up to 6 health. And if not that, then this is also an option. Sure, a 1-6 isn't the sexiest thing in the world, but again, it's a 3-4 for 3, so it's already good, and that's just an added bonus. I haven't played this a ton since the expansion dropped. As mentioned in the Wednesday video, haven't had a lot of time, but haven't been home a whole lot, so I've been playing some games since the expansion dropped, but not a ton. But in my limited time with this, it's been relatively successful.
Versus Malfurion.
My beloved children.
My dear Malfurion.
Oh yeah, Holy Smite's also a early game possibility against a druid. Let's try and get something a little more early going here. And yeah, I keep the Draconids. Almost always. They're just so good. This worked out a little bit better. We could coin out our 2-3, but that seems a little silly. Yeah. Could have shadow worded that if we'd kept it. Well, let's play this anyways. We could coin out one of the 3-4s and just not get its health effect, but Let's see if we can be greedy. I'm sure this isn't going to work out. Case in point. Okay. Now we can play the 3-4, and it's a little better for us, I guess.
You wish to live forever.
Well, one way or another, we played a raw 3-4, as it turned out. Tried to get greedy, didn't work out. That's okay. Swipe. Okay. We're just gonna go straight to the operative here. We had Ysera as a dragon activator, so that's gonna be around for a while. I think that's fine.
Pass me that arc light spanner.
Does he have a 1 mana play? Because if not, I think that's a really good turn for us. Oof. I mean, I was going to play this. Now I have to consider. I think I still like this better.
You wish to live forever.
I feel like having a 5/8 is pretty good. Because if we do that in the other order, he can technically kill it. It'd be a 5/3 after we kill the 3/3, and then the 2/4 and hero power could go into it, or some such. We have the perfect answer for that. That's A-okay. Alright, so let's start with this.
Once upon a time.
Oof. So this is the interesting part about this card, of course. There is some great options you can come up with here. We could go second Ysera, but I just think this is too good. We're building quite the board here. We have another Shadow Word already in hand. That's the other problem, of course. Entomb is gone. One of the reasons that Priest sort of struggles a bit now, I think, is because all those tools are no longer at our disposal, but... I mean, what's the best play here? Hit their Holy Nova? Just Draken and Operative and trade and heal? I think that's best. I should keep taking his cards. I mean, we're a priest, so we want to build a board, right?
Your soul.
We could also have played Mark of the Wild as effectively being healing as well, but even if we get the other swipe here or something, I don't really care. I feel like we're in commanding position here. And now it's pretty much over. Let's do this first. No. He's probably gonna be like, what the hell? This is what you do with this deck, though, you know? You just keep playing them. And we'll go face. And I think we win next turn. Now, we don't have an answer if he plays some other huge dude, I guess. Technically, this works pretty well. But it's hard to imagine us not being able to clear whatever he plays. Holy Nova, Mark of the Wild, Dragonfire Potion, Swipe, like... Okay. That does technically let him live based on what's on board. He doesn't know that he's dead anyways, but... Yeah.
I can see.
Well, he does know he's dead. To be fair, he would have been down at 1, so I'm sure he suspected. Hey! One more. So effectively, the deck hasn't really changed a ton. You just do different things in the early game. But really, once you get to turn 4 or 5, you're doing it as a turn 5 play. Sometimes turn 4 if you have the coin, like we did. Super good. If we go second, Twilight Drakes can be very strong on turn 4.
Malfurion.
Often it's a 4-7 or a 4-8 if you play it right, especially if you have dudes like this in your opening hand.
Dear Malfurion.
Now, normally I might like to hold on to this, but I'm fishing for a dragon. Yeah, he'll do. I think we're just going to wait again. Because if we coin this out, what do we do next turn? Hero power. I can do that anyways. That's a great turn 2 for us. Very happy with how that went.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, I'd like a Ysera. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention when I was going over the deck is this is also an activator for Priest of the Feast. And it's also affected by the 2/3 that reduces mana cost, so I think this is going swimmingly for us so far. I think we're just going to do this. We could coin out, I mean, could coin out here, but I think this is fine.
You wish to live forever.
Because if I coin that out, then I can't coin this out next turn. And we have a dragon in our hand for forever and ever now with Ysera, so we no longer need to keep the operative. I think this is going swimmingly. Technically, I could, like, Shadow Word that, but why? I can Shadow Word the 3/3 when it gets played. I think a Nourish should be pretty strong. Some nice card draw for later, I suppose. Make one of those Twilight Drakes we talked about beefy. I am surprised by that. Thought we were going to get milled. Well, let's see. 5 mana. I'm definitely doing this. Do I want to draw that badly? I don't know that I do. I think I'm just going to do this. Yeah, we could draw one. I'm actually going to toss that. I don't mind that so much. I'm going to go here. Could have done that in a multitude of ways. Don't know that I love the way I did it, but it's what happened. Could have just healed. Not power worded just yet.
Let the brain speak to me.
I like that as a Shadow Word target, just so he doesn't get to draw. Yeah. I think that's good. I think a 4/9 is hard for him to deal with. If he happens to play the 3/6 with Taunt that summons a Jade, he did not. Interesting. I thought about trying to put this in my Jade deck. It's kind of weird, though.
In the light's name.
I mean, we have all sorts of options again, which is kind of why I like this deck. We can Holy Nova and just ram the Draconin into it. That seems like kind of a shame. It would survive, though,
Is a loon's
if we
will.
heal it. I think that's fine. It's a nice compromise between clearing and still keeping everything alive. Maybe we could Dragonfire there and effectively do the same thing. We still have to kill my debuff somehow, though. Alright, so our pal Gadget's in. So he's going to spend an Innervate to get a card, but also waste one of his charges of the staff, so that's okay. There we go, that's more what I would expect. This is an interesting little control deck. What's he going to do with his last mana? Please don't shuffle 3 more in. Okay, good. Well, I mean, unless something changes, there's really no reason why we're not just going to do this here. But our 1/5 will die. This is where we get lethal here somehow. I don't think that's true. I mean, the Shadow Word costs us 3 mana. We have 5 left. Yeah, there's no way. Oh, I know it's only 2 damage. So, I think that seems good. Now, he drew a bunch of cards last turn, and he's got 10 mana, so he's got options here, but... Okay, Bookworm is great for that. Okay, Bookworm creates lethal unless he does something else with his 3 mana here. Even if he hero powers, it doesn't matter. That's the nice thing about a more mid-range approach like this, is that the Jades obviously have great power the longer the game goes, but he's not going to have enough time to get any of this going. Like, he's got 6/6 and 7/7 now, but he's dead.
Let reading drag.
Let sleeping dragons alive. That's an important way to use Bookworm, by the way. A 6 mana card that you can kill with that? Great. Use it on like a 1/1 for 1. You're like, what am I doing with my life? I mean, it's not bad. It's better than nothing, but you know what I mean. So yeah, Hearthstone. Game's changing a bit. There's some other decks. I have a Quest Rogue because I had almost all the components to it, so I thought, sure. I don't know if I've even played it once. But the first couple days when the expansion dropped, this was wrecking everything. I have like a mid-range hunter that I'm trying. I like mid-range decks because I like control, but I don't necessarily have all the high-end cards I need to play the best control. And I still have a couple of Inzoth things. Jade Druid is still pretty good. I mean, it lost a couple of the shenanigans it had with Bran being rotated out, but I mean, come on. Same with Jade Rogue. A couple of shenanigans are gone, but it's still pretty good. There's lots of decks to play, and the meta's in a much better place than it was before the expansion, and I think people are happier overall. There are still problems with Hearthstone, but I think it's good. It's fun. It lets me turn my brain off and play a fun card game, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Is hard to do when you don't have other people, and you don't have all the recent decks, and you don't know what the hell pendulum summoning is. Anyways, thank you for watching. Hopefully Azalea will resume next week. I can't make any promises. I'm traveling back to Phoenix again this weekend. But, yeah, we'll see what happens.